Hello. Today we are going to do IXL assignment KK12, scatter plots, line of best fit. Let's get started. We are going to write the equation of the line of best fit that they drew into the scatter plots. So this line of best fit, or the estimate line, represents the data. We could tell that it's trending downward. We want to write an equation in slope-intercept form. Remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So the two things we need for that, we need the slope and we need a y-intercept. The easiest thing would be to look at your line and see if it touches the y-axis, because the y-intercept is where your graph touches the y-axis. In this example, that's not possible, so we'll have to use some algebra. But in future examples, you'll see that we'll be able to identify the y-intercept just by looking at where the graph touches the y-axis. First, I have to calculate my slope. Now remember, slope is the rise over the run. So I have my 2 points, and I can tell this is a negative slope because this is going downhill, and I drew my right triangle, so this went from 6 to 0, so it went down 6, and then it went right 2. So my slope is negative 6 over 2, but that can be reduced, right? Negative 6 over 2 can be reduced to 6 is divided by 2. That could be negative 3. So I'm going to need to use negative 3 as my slope. Now I have to find my y-intercept, so I'm going to pick one of these points. I'm going to pick this point right here on the x-axis. That's 6, 0. So I'm going to put a 6 in for my x and a 0 in for my y, because I'm using this point right here, 6, 0. And now I'm going to calculate my y-intercept. I'm going to solve this equation for y. So the 0 stays there. Negative 3 times 6 is negative 18, plus b, my y-intercept. So to solve for b, I have to add 18 to both sides. So now that I know that 18 is my y-intercept, I could write my equation. I found my slope first. So it's negative 3. The x is part of the formula, the slope-intercept form. And my y-intercept I just found is 18. So the equation of this line, it has a slope of negative 3 and a y-intercept 18. Here's another example. Now I could tell that my y-intercept touches the y-axis here at 8. So I like to just write my formula again. I need two pieces of information. I need the slope and I need the y-intercept. I can calculate my slope. So I have, this goes from 8 down to 2. So that's negative 6 because I went from 8 down to 2. If I go down, that's 6. And I'm going right, also 6, from 0 right here over to 6. So my slope is negative 6 over 6, my rise over my run. It's not really a rise because I fell. 6 divided by 6 is 1. Negative divided by a positive is a negative. So my slope is negative 1x, and my y-intercept, I can tell right here, this is where the graph touches the y-axis, is positive 8. And I'm just going to clean that up a little bit. I don't need the negative 1, so I'm going to have my equation as negative x plus 8. Another example. This time I'm going to do my slope. I'm going to show you another option. To calculate my slope, I'm going to use the two coordinates, the two ordered pairs. So this ordered pair is 7, 6. And this ordered pair is 5, 0. Because I go right 5 and I don't go up or down. I'm still on the x-axis. So I could do y2 minus y1. So I'll do y2 minus y1. So 6 minus 0. Now because I started with the 6, for my x's, I got to start with 7. So I'll do 7 minus 5. 6 minus 0 is 6. So if you don't want to count the rise over the run, you could use the formula. Change in y over change in x. y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. 7 minus 5 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And I can tell this line is rising, so it has a positive slope. Now I'm going to use my slope, and one of the points, I'm going to pick 5, 0. I'm going to plug that into y equals mx plus b, slope-intercept form. My y is 0, right? My y coordinate. My slope is 3. X is 5. And now I'm going to solve for the variable b to find the y-intercept. 3 times 5 is 15 plus b equals 0 over here on the left. Subtract 15 from both sides. 0 minus 15 is negative 15. So now I know my slope is 3, my y-intercept is negative 15. I could write the equation plugging in that information, 3x minus 15. This should be another easy equation to write. I know my y-intercept is 4. It touches the y-axis at positive 4 right there. And then I'm going to calculate my slope. So if I draw this line in, right, this part right here is my rise. So again, don't start counting until you move. So I've seen students go 1. Don't count that yet. You haven't moved. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The rise is 5, and the run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The run is 7. Rise over run, 5 over 7. Don't forget your x, that's part of the equation. Slope y-intercept is 4. That would be the equation of your line. It's easy when you know your y-intercept already. You don't have to use algebra. This time I don't know my y-intercept yet. I know it's going to be above 10. Let's go. This point is 4, 7. Right? Start at the origin, go right 4, up 7. This point is at 6, 3. I'm going to use this time I'm going to use this. So I'm going to use my slope formula to find my slope again, to give you another example. So I'm going to do 3 minus 7. And because I started at this point with my y, I got to start with this ordered pair for my x. So I got 6 minus 4. 3 minus 7 is negative 4. 6 minus 4 is 2. I can divide 4 by 2. That's 2. And it's a negative because I'm dividing a negative by a positive. I got to pick one of these points. Let's pick 4, 7 this time. I got to plug that into my y-intercept. Sorry, my slope-intercept form. So this time, because I've chose this point, y is 7. My slope is negative 2. I just found that up there. My x is 4. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. So since this is negative, I have to add it to both sides to find my y-intercept this time. 7 plus 8 is 15. So my y-intercept is 15. My slope was negative 2, so I'll write my equation negative 2x plus 15. And that's the equation of this line. Another easy one, we know our y-intercept is 9, touches the y-axis out there. Let's calculate our slope. So I'm going to use 0, 9, and I'm going to use, this is 8, 3, right 8, up 3. So I'm going to do 9 minus 3, use that slope formula, right? y2 minus y1. And the bottom, because I started with 9, I have to start with 0. 0 minus 8, and I'm going to get a negative, but that's okay. 9 minus 3 is 6. 0 minus 8 is negative 8. That can be reduced. They can both be divided by 2, right? It's a fraction. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 8 divided by 2 is 4. And because I did a positive divided by a negative, it stays negative. So my slope is negative 3/4. So I'll write negative 3 over 4, don't forget your x, plus 9 because it touches the y-axis at 9. Here we go, we got another example. This time I'm just going to count my rise over my run. So I got my rise over my run. This is my rise, so it drops from 7 down to 0, so that goes 7 blocks, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's my run. So it's going to be 7 over 5. It's positive because the line's going uphill. So I got y equals 7 over 5 x plus b. So now I'll pick one of these points. Let's pick 3, 0. So I'm picking 3, 0. So the y is 0. I got 7 over 5. I have to multiply that by 3. Uh-oh, we're going to deal with a fraction here now. So I have 0 equals 7 times 3 is 21, and 21 can't be divided by 5, so I'm just going to leave it as 21/5 plus b. Now I got to subtract 21/5 from both sides. So I got 0 minus 21 over 5, which is going to be negative 21 over 5. That can't be reduced. I can't simplify it. I don't want to make it a fraction, or I don't want to make it a decimal, so I'm just going to use y equals, my slope, remember, was 7 over 5. Don't forget your x right there, and this is negative 21 over 5, which makes sense because if I keep going down here, it's going to touch. That's like 21 divided by 5 is 4.2. So if I estimate, maybe it would hit the negative 4.2 down there. Thanks for watching this video. Come back to Math Lab anytime for more help. Now go and slay your IXL assignment.